Welcome back to the Motivated Mind Zone. Glad to have you here. Today, we are diving deep into something that sounds pretty simple on the surface, maybe,
hmm
but it often turns out to be, well, one of the biggest hurdles for English learners aiming for that real practical fluency. We're talking about small talk.
Yeah, it's great we're tackling this because small talk, those short, sort of friendly chats, that's actually where most real life English happens. You might be brilliant at reading, complex articles or academic papers,
Right.
but then a coworker just casually says, "Bit chilly today, isn't it?" Or, "How was your commute?" And suddenly lots of learners they freeze,
Yeah.
completely blank.
That's exactly it, the freeze response. It highlights that small talk isn't really about having a huge vocabulary or perfect grammar. It's more about um, social rhythm.
Social rhythm, yeah, and tone, confidence. It's
Yeah.
navigating the interaction.
People get stuck in their heads, don't they? Trying to
Yeah.
translate, thinking, okay, what's the absolutely perfect, most grammatically correct thing I could possibly say right now?
Right. When honestly, the native speaker who started the chat probably used the simplest phrase imaginable, like, "nice weather today."
Exactly.
Small talk is really, it's like the oil in the gears of social interaction. It keeps things running smoothly. You encounter it everywhere, every single day. Those couple of minutes before a meeting kicks off.
Or in the elevator,
Yeah.
waiting for class to start.
Grabbing your morning coffee. It's constant. And it's not about sharing profound thoughts or, solving world
No,
problems.
not at all.
It's about feeling connected. It's about showing friendliness, establishing a bit of rapport, basically making people feel comfortable being around you.
And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We want to take small talk from being this, like, confusing, maybe even scary social situation
Yeah, a minefield for some.
and turn it into a practical, understandable tool. We want to give you, the listener, concrete phrases, simple strategies, things you can actually use. The goal is to make these little exchanges feel easier, maybe even fun, and ultimately turn them into a way to build your confidence in speaking English.
Absolutely. We really see small talk not as just, idle chatter. It's a vital bridge, a bridge to genuine connection and honestly to higher levels of fluency. So, to really understand how to build and cross that bridge, we need to break it down. We're focusing on three core skills today.
Okay, what are they?
First, how do you even start a conversation naturally? Second, once it's going, how do you keep it alive? Avoid that dreaded awkward pause.
Ah, yes, the awkward pause. We all know that one.
And third, how do you end the conversation? Politely, gracefully, without just vanishing.
Okay, that sounds like a solid plan. Let's start with the bit that probably feels the most daunting for almost everyone, I think, regardless of their English level. That very first sentence, the opening line.
Yeah, that first sentence, it feels like it carries so much weight, doesn't it? People worry endlessly.
Oh, definitely. Will I sound awkward? Is my accent okay? What if they don't understand me? Is my grammar
All those anxieties. The first thing we need to do is just let go of that pressure. Seriously. The only goal of that first sentence is to signal one thing: I'm friendly. I'm open to talking.
doesn't need to be brilliant or witty or profound?
Not at all. And here's the thing that should be really freeing for English learners: native speakers. We almost never kick off a casual chat with anything deep or complicated.
Right. If you're racking your brain for the perfect, impressive opening line, you're probably overthinking it by a mile.
Exactly. So, the strategies we're going to talk about focus on the simplest, lowest risk ways to just signal that openness.
Okay, let's hear them. What's the first approach?
Okay, strategy A: universal neutral starters. These are the classics for a reason. They're topics that absolutely everyone in that shared space has access to and can comment on, even if it's just a simple agreement.
And the king of all neutral starters, the one you absolutely cannot go wrong with, is the weather.
the weather. It's almost a cliche, but it works. Nice day, isn't it? Or looks like it might rain later. Or even, wow, it's really windy out there.
It's short, it's totally neutral, nobody's going to get offended, and it's immediately relevant to everyone present.
And the key thing to grasp here is why it works. It's not about the weather itself, usually.
Right, you're not actually launching into a meteorological discussion.
Exactly. It's a social signal. By commenting on the weather, you're basically saying, non-verbally, hey, I see you, I'm friendly. A short interaction is welcome. It breaks the silence safely.
I sometimes wonder, though, does it sound too simple? Like maybe a bit unoriginal? Does it still land well in, say, a professional setting or a faster-paced city?
Oh, absolutely. Its strength is its simplicity. Think about it. If the other person responds warmly, like, yeah, it's gorgeous out, I'm so glad the sun finally showed up. Great. The bridge has started.
Yeah,
And they just give a short reply like, or yeah, you haven't really put yourself out there too much. You haven't risked anything embarrassing. You can just let it go. No pressure.
that makes sense.
Mm.
Low risk, potential reward. What other universal neutrals are there besides weather?
Time and shared waiting experiences are also great. Like if you're in a queue, wow, it's really packed in here today. Or this line is moving slowly, huh?
Or before a meeting or event?
Yeah.
Looks like we're starting a bit late, or
Yeah.
do you know how long this workshop is supposed to run?
Exactly. Anything you're both experiencing right there in that moment, it leverages the immediate shared reality.
Okay, that's clear. Leveraging the shared environment. Let's move to something a bit more structured, maybe. You mentioned strategy B, the comment plus question, or as you called it, the magic formula.
Yeah.
That sounds intriguing.
It is, and having a formula, a clear structure can really help reduce that, what do I say, anxiety. It's super simple. Step 1, make a sincere, light comment. Usually it's a small compliment or just an observation about something visible or shared. Step 2, immediately follow that comment with a small, open-ended question.
Okay, hold on. Compliments. Isn't complimenting a stranger potentially a bit awkward? Or maybe too forward, especially if you're worried about getting the tone right as a learner?
That's a really important point. You have to choose your comment or compliment carefully. We are not talking about commenting on someone's appearance, like their eyes or hair or anything too personal. That can definitely be uncomfortable.
Right. Stick to safer ground.
Exactly. Focus on safe, low-stakes compliments about things that represent a choice the person made, not something they were born with. Or comment on an object.
Okay, like what? Give me some examples.
Sure, object comments. That's a really nice scarf, or I like your phone case, or your backpack looks really sturdy.
Things they chose to wear or use. Got it.
Or choice experience comments. That coffee smells amazing, or wow, that sandwich looks delicious.
Okay. And in a work context.
You could comment on an action or contribution. I really like the point you made in the meeting earlier, or that was an interesting question you asked. Safe, professional, and appreciative.
Okay, so you make the comment, that coffee smells amazing, and then what happens if you just stop there?
Dead end.
Right.
You've just stated something. The conversation doesn't have anywhere to go. The comment alone is just an observation floating in the air.
Right.
The question is the crucial second part. It's what turns your observation into an invitation for them to respond. It's the engine.
So, I like your jacket, needs the follow-up.
Immediately, where'd you get it? Or, is it new?
And that coffee smells amazing.
No kind is it? Or, do you recommend this place?
Comment plus question equals invitation. I like that.
Oh.
Simple and actionable.
It gives you a reliable structure every time.
Okay. Now, if we move beyond compliments, strategy C is about referencing the shared situation or environment more directly, often through questions.
Yes, this builds on the neutral starters, but often goes straight to a question related to the context you're both in. It requires zero advanced planning because the topic is right there in front of you.
So if you're waiting outside a classroom,
You could ask, is this your first time taking a class with this instructor? Or, do you know if we needed to read anything before today's lecture? It's directly relevant to why you're both standing there.
This seems particularly useful in professional settings, right? Because it keeps the focus on the shared work context, not personal stuff.
Hugely useful. Think about being near the coffee machine at work or waiting for the elevator. Instead of trying to think of something personal, ask about the work itself.
Like,
How's your morning going so far? Or maybe slightly more specific, working on anything interesting today? Or how's that project coming along?
that last one feels a bit direct, maybe.
It depends on your relationship, of course, but how's your day going? Or working on anything interesting invites them to share just a little bit about their current reality at work. It shows interest in them as a colleague without being nosy.
It acknowledges their presence and their work. That's subtle, but important.
Hmm.
Okay, now strategy D feels different. It's not about what you say, but how you say it. Tone, smile, and attitude.
This is arguably the most critical piece, especially for learners worried about mistakes. Your tone of voice, your facial expression, they communicate so much more than perfect grammar.
You mean someone could say a grammatically perfect sentence but sound flat or robotic, and it just wouldn't land well?
Exactly. It would feel cold, maybe even disinterested. But a simple hello or nice day delivered with a warm tone, maybe a slight smile, that signals friendliness and openness immediately. People can genuinely hear your smile over the phone and definitely in person.
So even if you're feeling nervous inside, which is totally normal for learners,
Right.
you should try to consciously project a bit of warmth.
Hmm.
Sound open.
Open and interested. That's the key. Nervousness often makes our voices quieter or more monotone. So, consciously injecting a little bit of energy, making eye contact, having a generally pleasant expression, even while you're mentally searching for words, makes the whole interaction feel much better for the other person.
Your overall attitude is saying, I'm trying to connect here.
Precisely. That positive intention is incredibly powerful and often overrides small language errors.
Okay, that's a relief to hear. Moving on, strategy E brings us back to safe topics. Universal connectors, like food and positive news.
When in doubt, these are your friends. Food is just universally relatable. It crosses cultural boundaries like almost nothing else.
So if you see someone with food or mention food yourself,
Absolutely. Oh, that looks delicious. What is it? Or if you're looking for lunch, I'm starving. Do you know any good quick places around here?
people generally love sharing food recommendations. It's a natural human thing.
It feels very low pressure. And in the workplace, you mentioned positive news.
Yes, instead of complaining about workload or, worse, office politics to start a chat,
Definitely avoid the gossip.
oh, absolutely.
Ah,
Focus on small wins or positive developments. Hey, I heard the team got great feedback on the Miller account. Congratulations. Or, that presentation you gave yesterday was really insightful. I learned a lot. That's smart because it's not just starting a conversation, it's also giving a genuine compliment about their work or their team's work.
exactly. It serves a dual purpose. Connection and appreciation. That builds professional goodwill very effectively.
Okay, one final opening strategy. Strategy F, which involves mentioning a shared experience or, quite cleverly, asking for small help.
The shared experience taps into that immediate reality again, like the long queue example, but maybe framed as solidarity. If you're both waiting for a delayed train, looks like we'll be waiting a while, huh? Hope it's not too delayed. You're bonding over the shared minor
It
inconvenience.
feels very natural because you already have that thing in common, the waiting.
Exactly, and asking for small help. This is a fantastic, low stakes way to initiate interaction because it requires the other person to respond.
It's like a polite little conversation starter pistol.
Perfect analogy. Simple, polite requests. Excuse me, do you know what time it is? Or, sorry, could you tell me if this bus goes downtown? Or in a shared space, is this seat taken?
They answer the question.
And then you use their answer as the launch pad. The thank you is your transition.
Ah, okay, so Thanks so much. I appreciate it. By the way, are you also heading to the conference center?
Precisely. You move smoothly from a simple transaction, getting information, to an interaction, starting a conversation.
Okay, let's quickly recap these starting methods. We had universal neutral starters like weather or cues, the magic formula, comment plus, question, referencing the shared situation, focusing on positive tone and attitude, universal connectors like food or positive news, and finally mentioning a shared experience or asking for small help.
That covers the main approaches. And remember the underlying principle for all of them. Small talk is about making a connection, however brief. It's not primarily about exchanging important information. It's about signaling friendliness.
Connection over information. Got it. So we've successfully broken the ice. We've used one of these strategies. The other person has responded. But now comes that tricky bit, keeping it going. How do we avoid the dreaded awkward pause?
Ah, yes, the second hurdle. This is often where learners feel the pressure mount again. They've managed the opening, got a reply, and now their mind goes blank. What next? They feel that silence stretching.
And the instinct is often to just talk more,
Yeah.
to fill the space with anything.
Exactly. But the real secret to sustaining a conversation isn't about talking more. It's about listening more effectively and responding in a way that shows you're engaged. It's about demonstrating genuine interest.
Okay, so how do we demonstrate that interest effectively?
Tactic A is your absolute best friend here. Follow-up questions. These are the threads that keep the conversation woven together. They show you didn't just hear their words, you actually absorbed them.
So if someone says, I just moved here last month, a bad response is just, oh, nice.
Terrible. Leaves them nowhere to go. A good response shows immediate curiosity. You need to ask something that invites them to elaborate.
Like, oh, really? How are you finding it so far? Or, where did you move from?
Perfect. Or, what brought you to this area? Simple, open-ended questions. The classic W questions are great here. What? Where? When? Why? How? But maybe be careful with why, as it can sometimes sound demanding.
Right. Questions that need more than a simple yes or no answer. They invite a little bit of a story, even a tiny one.
Exactly. They keep the ball rolling back to the other person.
Okay, but what if you ask a simple question like, how was your weekend? And they give you a really long, detailed answer, maybe more detailed than you expected. How do you manage that without feeling overwhelmed or forgetting what they said?
That's a great point, and it leads right into tactic B, using short emotional reactions or verbal nods. While they're talking, you don't have to just sit there silently. You need to provide feedback that you're listening and reacting.
These are like the little sounds and phrases that punctuate the conversation, the social equivalents of nodding your head.
Precisely. Simple things like, oh, really? Wow. That's interesting. No way. Uh-huh. Gotcha. That sounds fun to felt amazing.
These seem small, but I guess they're doing important work.
Huge work. They make you sound engaged, empathetic, and friendly. This is often where learners, focusing hard on grammar, can sound a bit robotic. They deliver perfect sentences, but without these little fillers, the conversation feels cold or one-sided.
Like you're just processing data instead of having a human interaction.
Exactly. These short reactions provide warmth and rhythm. They signal to the speaker, yes, keep going, I'm with you, I'm interested.
Okay, so listen actively, use follow-up questions, and pepper in those short reactions. But a conversation isn't just questions and reactions, is it? It needs to be a two-way street.
Absolutely. Which brings us to tactic C, balancing asking and sharing. A good conversation is a dance, not an interrogation. Learners sometimes get so focused on asking questions that they forget to contribute anything themselves.
They become interviewers, not participants.
Right. So after you ask a question and they answer, try to offer a small, relevant piece of your own experience or opinion. It shows you relate to what they said.
So if they mention they love hiking,
Don't just ask, where do you hike? You could say, oh, that's cool. I haven't been hiking in ages, but I used to love it. Where do you usually go around here? You shared a tiny connection. I used to love it. Before asking the next question.
Or if they say, I'm really into baking sourdough bread.
You could respond, "Oh, wow, me too. Well, I try to bake it. Mine never looks as good as the pictures. Do you have any tips?" Again, you shared something relatable. I try too. And then asked a question.
The key word there seems to be relevant. You need to connect your sharing back to what they just said.
Critically important. Don't just abruptly change the subject to talk about yourself. If they're talking about their dog, don't suddenly start talking about your trip to Spain unless there's a clear link. You're adding a layer to the current topic.
Okay, building on that sharing idea, Tactic D goes a bit deeper, showing empathy and connection through shared feelings or experiences.
This is about more than just sharing facts. It's about acknowledging and validating the other person's feelings or situation, using phrases that show you understand on an emotional level.
Like what kind of phrases?
Things like, "Oh, that sounds really exciting," or "Wow, that must have been stressful," or the incredibly useful phrase, "I know exactly what you mean."
Ah, that's a good one. So if a colleague says, Ugh, I'm drowning in emails this week.
Responding with, "Oh, tell me about it. I know exactly what you mean. My inbox is crazy too,"
Yeah,
creates an instant bond. You're connecting over that shared feeling of being overwhelmed.
it builds solidarity. You're not necessarily offering solutions, just showing you get it.
Exactly. It's about sounding relatable and human, validating their experience.
Okay, now for something maybe simpler but quite effective. Tactic E, the repetition trick. What's this?
It's deceptively simple. When the other person says something, especially using a key noun or verb, you can gently repeat that word back to them as part of your follow-up question.
Okay, give me an example.
If they say, "I spent the weekend volunteering at the animal shelter," you could respond, "Oh, volunteering, that's really great. What kind of work do you do there?"
Ah, I see. You echoed volunteering. Or if they say, I'm trying out that new Italian place tonight.
You could say, "Italian food. Nice. Have you heard if it's good?"
Why does this work so well?
Two reasons. One, it instantly confirms you are listening closely enough to pick out the key topic. Two, it gives you a split second to think while sounding engaged, and it gently guides them to elaborate on that specific thing you repeated.
Simple, but clever. Okay, what if the conversation genuinely starts to fizzle out? You've asked follow-ups, shared a bit, but you feel the energy dipping. How do you change the topic without being awkward?
That's where tactic F comes in, gently changing topics with connectors. Learners often make the mistake of just jumping to a new topic abruptly, which can feel jarring. Connectors are the words that smooth out that transition.
Like verbal bridges between topics.
Exactly. You use phrases that signal a shift is coming. Things like, "Oh, by the way," or "speaking of previous related topic," or "that reminds me."
So if you were talking about weekend plans and it starts to die down,
You could say, "Well, speaking of the weekend, I heard there's a street fair happening downtown. Have you seen anything about that?" You used "speaking of the weekend" to link it.
or if you were talking about work projects.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that sounds under control. By the way, did you happen to catch that game last night?
Perfect. "By the way" is a classic all-purpose transition phrase. These connectors make the shift feel natural, not random.
Okay, this next one, Tactic G, might be culturally sensitive. Don't fear the silence. This feels counterintuitive for many people trying to be fluent.
It really does. There's often this intense pressure, especially for learners, to fill every single millisecond of silence. But brief pauses are actually a normal part of conversation in many English-speaking cultures.
It doesn't automatically mean the conversation has failed or that you're boring.
Not at all. A short pause, maybe just a second or two, can simply be a moment for someone to gather their thoughts or to let the previous point sink in, or even just to take a breath.
And if you rush in immediately to fill that tiny pause,
You might actually cut off the other person who is about to say something, or you might just seem overly anxious. Staying relaxed during a brief pause often allows the conversation to continue more naturally.
So, what's the difference between a natural social pause and a truly awkward silence that needs breaking?
It's about the feeling and the duration. A couple of seconds with relaxed body language and eye contact is usually fine. If it stretches beyond, say, 3 or 4 seconds and you both look uncomfortable, then yes, maybe gently introduce a new question or comment. But learning to tolerate those brief pauses is a key part of sounding culturally fluent.
Okay, good to know. Relax into the pause sometimes. And the final tactic for sustaining connection, tactic H, using names.
So simple, but so effective. If you know the person's name, try to weave it into the conversation naturally once or twice.
Not overdoing it like a salesperson.
No, definitely not. But instead of just saying, that's a good point, maybe say, that's a good point, Sarah. Or ending with, it was great talking to you, David.
Why does this make such a difference?
It just instantly makes the interaction feel warmer and more personal. It signals that you see them as an individual, not just a generic conversation partner. It builds rapport much faster.
Okay, so wrapping up this section on sustaining the chat. Active listening is key. Use those follow-up questions. Give verbal nods and reactions. Balance asking with relevant sharing. Show empathy. Use repetition subtly. Transition smoothly with connectors. Don't panic during short silences. And use their names sparingly.
Exactly. It's all about creating a natural back and forth flow. Fluency here means connecting comfortably, not necessarily talking nonstop or using complex sentences.
That's a really practical set of tools. We've started the conversation, we've kept it going, but all good things must come to an end. How do we handle the exit? This feels like another potential awkward spot.
You're right. Ending well is just as crucial as starting well. You can have a great chat, build nice rapport, and then ruin it with an abrupt or clumsy exit.
Like just turning around and saying, okay, gotta go, back.
Exactly. It can feel dismissive or rude, even if that wasn't your intention. It leaves the other person feeling a bit dropped. The goal is what we call a soft landing, ending the conversation in a way that feels natural, polite, and leaves a positive final impression.
Okay, how do we achieve this soft landing? What's the first technique?
Technique A is using signal phrases. These are like verbal warning signs. They gently let the other person know that the conversation is winding down, giving them a moment to mentally prepare for the end.
So you're not just cutting it off suddenly. What are some common signal phrases?
Things like, anyway, or, well, followed by a concluding thought or reason. For example, anyway, I should probably let you get back to your work. Or, well, it's been great talking to you, but I need to head out.
And you usually combine that signal with a friendly comment, right?
Always. The signal phrase prepares them. The friendly comment reinforces the positive connection. Anyway, it was really nice catching up with you, name, or, well, I'd better get going, but thanks for the chat.
You mentioned one earlier that I really liked, especially for work.
Hmm.
I don't want to keep you.
Yes, that's a fantastic one. It's incredibly polite because it frames the ending around their time and priorities, not just your need to leave. It shows consideration.
So you'd combine it like, well, I don't want to keep you any longer, but I really enjoyed hearing about your trip.
Perfect. Signal phrase. Well, polite consideration. I don't want to keep you. Friendly comment. Really enjoyed hearing. Smooth and respectful.
Okay, so signal phrases are key. What's technique B? It involves polite reasons and respecting time.
This builds directly on the signal phrase. People understand obligations. Briefly mentioning why you need to leave makes the exit feel logical and less personal.
And keep the reasons simple and generally true, I imagine.
Exactly. No need for elaborate stories, just the natural next thing. I have to get back to my desk, or I need to run to my next meeting, or my train is probably arriving soon, or even just, I should get going.
And again, deliver it with a positive tone.
Absolutely. Smile, maintain eye contact. You can even use a simple formula here. Reason plus friendly comment plus goodbye.
Give me an example. Leaving the office kitchen.
Okay, I should probably get back to finishing that report. Reason. But it was great chatting for a few minutes. Friendly comment. See you later. Goodbye.
Clear, polite, professional. Got it. Now, technique C sounds interesting. Summarizing and appreciating. How does that work?
This is a really nice touch that reinforces that you are actually listening and valued the conversation. Before you give your exit reason, you briefly mention something specific you enjoyed or learned from the chat.
So instead of just a generic, nice talking to you, you personalize it.
Exactly. You might say, well, it was fascinating hearing about your volunteer work. Sounds really rewarding. I need to head off now, but thanks for sharing. Or, I'll definitely check out that book you recommended. Anyway, I have to run, but great talking.
It shows you didn't just forget everything they said the moment they said it. It makes the goodbye feel more complete and sincere.
Precisely. It closes the loop on the conversation in a very positive way.
Okay, and then there's technique D, suggesting future contact, the open door. This sounds like planning the next conversation already.
Not necessarily making firm plans, although you can. It's more about ending on a forward-looking positive note that keeps the connection open, even if it's vague.
So, low pressure suggestions.
Right. For casual acquaintances or colleagues, we should do this again sometime, or let's catch up properly soon, or maybe I'll see you at the next team meeting.
Or even more casually, hope to run into you again.
Exactly. It signals I enjoyed this interaction and future interactions would be welcome. It maintains the relationship bridge you just built. Even if you don't have specific plans, it leaves a warm feeling.
And finally, technique E covers the basic formal and timeless expressions, the standard goodbyes.
Yes, sometimes the situation just calls for a simple, standard closing. You need a few reliable options in your pocket.
For everyday, casual situations.
Take care, have a good one, have a great day, evening, weekend, or simply see you later or see you around.
And for more formal or professional settings.
It was a pleasure speaking with you, or thank you for your time, or I look forward to our next conversation, or simply goodbye.
Good to have those ready. So, what's the overarching rule for ending conversations?
I think it comes down to this. Be honest, but kind. You need to leave, that's the honest part. But do it kindly, respectfully, leaving the other person feeling good about the interaction. People really remember the last few moments.
How you made them feel at the very end.
Exactly. A graceful exit leaves that door open psychologically for the next time. It reinforces the positive connection.
That makes perfect sense. Okay, we've covered starting, sustaining, and now ending small talk. But you mentioned earlier that it's not one size fits all. The context matters hugely, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You wouldn't use the same style of small talk at a formal work dinner as you would waiting in line for coffee. Adapting to the situation is key to fluency.
Right. Small talk definitely shifts depending on where you are, who you're with, and why you're there. Not understanding these nuances is a common mistake learners make.
It really is. Let's break down a few common contexts. First up, context one, workplace small talk. We could call this the professional glue.
Professional glue, I like that. Because it holds things together.
Exactly. Its main purpose in the workplace is to build relationships, establish trust, and help people feel more comfortable and connected as colleagues. It often happens right before meetings start or during coffee breaks. The key is friendly, but always professional.
So what are some typical workplace small talk starters?
They usually revolve around neutral, shared work topics or safe non-work topics like the weekend. Good morning, how's your week starting off? Or did you manage to have a relaxing weekend? Or related to work itself, did you see the latest update on the project? Or any interesting meetings today?
Notice how these are generally positive or neutral.
Critically important. The absolute number one rule for workplace small talk is keep it positive and light. This is not the time for complaints or heavy personal issues.
And definitely not the time for office gossip.
Never. Let's list the major taboo topics for professional small talk. 1. Gossip about colleagues or complaining about management. Danger zone. 2. Controversial topics like politics or religion, unless you know the person shares your views and the setting is appropriate, which is rare. 3. Deeply personal information. Serious health problems, financial struggles, messy relationship drama. Too much information. 4. Salary details, generally considered private.
Okay, that's a clear list of don'ts. So what if someone asks you a question that feels a bit too personal for the workplace? How do you politely navigate that?
Great question. The technique is give a brief, vague, positive answer and then immediately pivot back to a work-related or neutral topic.
Can you give an example? Someone asks, how's everything with your family?
You could say, oh, everyone's doing well, thanks for asking. Busy as always, you know how it is. Speaking of busy, how's that presentation prep coming along? See? A quick, polite answer, then an immediate shift back to work.
Answer, acknowledge, pivot. Got it. And what about talking to someone more senior, like your boss? Does the small talk change?
Yes, the level of formality usually increases slightly, and you want to be extra respectful of their time. It's often safer to let them lead the conversation more.
Good starters might be.
Showing appreciation is always good. I found your comments in the team meeting really helpful earlier. Or stick to very safe general well wishes. Hope you have a productive week. Keep it brief and focused.
Okay, workplace. Positive, professional. Avoid TMI and gossip. Be mindful of hierarchy. Now let's shift gears completely. Context 2. Social events. Parties, gatherings, networking mixers. This feels different.
Totally different vibe. Here, the primary goal is connection, building rapport, and just enjoying the shared social atmosphere. It's much more relaxed and spontaneous than work talk.
Connection over content, as you said. The pressure for professionalism is off, but maybe the pressure to be interesting feels higher.
Perhaps, but the relaxed setting actually makes small mistakes less noticeable. People are generally more forgiving. The key here is leveraging the shared event itself.
So starters should reference why you're both there.
Exactly. You have an instant common ground. Hi, how do you know the host? Or, this is a great party, isn't it? Or, comment on the surroundings. I love the music they're playing. Or, wow, that food spread looks amazing. Have you tried the little quiches yet?
Using the environment again. And how does the conversation flow from there?
It tends to be driven more by open-ended questions about interests, hobbies, or general life stuff, things you might not discuss at work. So, what do you like to do for fun when you're not working? Or, are you from this city originally?
The tone needs to match the event too, right?
Absolutely. Generally more enthusiastic, lighter, more open to humor. Those short emotional reactions, wow, that's awesome. No kidding, can be used more freely here. It's about creating a positive, friendly energy.
Okay, social events. Relaxed. Use the event as a starter. Ask open questions about interests. Match the energetic tone. Finally, context 3. Daily life encounters. The quick chats.
These are your mini practice sessions. The interactions in the grocery store line, waiting for the bus, at the coffee shop, maybe even at the gym. They're usually very short, very simple.
And because they're short and with strangers you might never see again, the stakes are super low, right? Perfect for building confidence.
Exactly. It's the ideal training ground. Starters are usually simple observations or questions related to the immediate shared activity.
Like me.
Bit busy in here today, isn't it? At a shop. This coffee smells so good.
Yeah.
At cafe. Excuse me, do you know if this bus has already passed? At the bus stop. How long have you been waiting? In any line.
Very simple, very direct.
And this brings us back to a really important cultural insight, especially for Anglo cultures like the US, UK, Canada, Australia.
What's that?
Small talk in these daily life settings is often performed purely as a ritual of politeness. It's like social lubrication or social glue, as we said.
You mean the person starting the chat doesn't necessarily expect or even want a deep conversation or a new friendship?
Often, no. They're simply acknowledging your shared presence, breaking a potentially awkward silence, and signaling basic human friendliness. It's a way of being polite and making the shared space feel a little warmer.
Understanding that goal, just politeness, not friendship, must take a lot of pressure off learners.
Huge pressure relief. You don't have to be fascinating or witty. You just need to respond politely, maybe add a small comment back and smile. That's usually enough to fulfill the social function.
Okay, quick recap of contexts. Workplace, positive, professional, glue. Social events, relaxed, connection-focused, use the event. Daily life is short, polite, low-stakes practice, often just about acknowledging each other. Understanding the purpose in each context is key.
Absolutely. Now, theory is one thing. Let's see how these principles play out in some real sounding examples.
Yeah, hearing it in action is always helpful. Analyzing some detailed examples can help listeners really internalize the flow and imagine themselves in these situations.
Exactly. We'll break down 3 short scenarios, pointing out the specific strategies and tactics being used, just like we've discussed.
Sounds good. Let's kick off with scenario one. Small talk at work, maybe in the break room or kitchen area. Midweek, fairly standard interaction. Starts with a simple, context-appropriate opener. Morning. How's your day shaping up so far?
Responds positively, offers a small piece of info, returns the question, morning. Not too bad, thanks. Just trying to get through these emails before my 10 o'clock meeting. How about you?
Uses empathy and shared experience. Tactic D. The email mountain. Yeah, same here. Just grabbing a quick coffee for fuel. Classic Wednesday morning, eh?
Acknowledges, then gently changes topic using a connector and positive work news. Tactic F strategy Z. Tell me about it. Hey, by the way, did you see that note from HR about the summer picnic? Sounds like it could be fun this year.
Shows interest. That's a follow-up question. Tactic A. Oh, I saw the subject line but haven't opened it yet. Are they doing it at that park by the lake again?
Answers the question, adds a small detail. Yeah, looks like it. Apparently, there's going to be a barbecue competition this time. Might be interesting.
Uses a short positive reaction and connects it slightly. Tactic BC. Oh, a competition. Nice. That could get competitive. I should probably read that email properly later.
Initiates the closing with a signal, phrase, and reason. Technique AB. Yeah, take a look. Anyway, I should probably head back now. Need to prep for that meeting.
Provides a smooth closing, acknowledging the reason, and using a friendly comment. Technique BE. Okay, sure. Good luck with the prep. It was nice chatting for a minute.
Standard friendly closing. You too. Catch you later.
Okay, that felt very realistic. It was brief, maybe a minute or so. It stayed positive, focused on shared work context, emails, meetings, or neutral company news. Picnic.
And notice the ending. Anyway, I should probably head back. Clear signal and reason. Followed by good luck with the prep, which acknowledges their reason, and nice chatting. Very smooth, polite, and professional. No awkwardness.
Right. Let's shift to scenario two. Small talk at a social event, say a friend's birthday party. More relaxed, aiming for connection. Initiates with intro and context. Hi, this is a great party. I don't think we've met. I'm Alex. I know Sarah from our book club.
Responds warmly, uses host connection, strategy C. Hey, Alex, I'm Chloe. Nice to meet you. Oh, cool. Sarah's mentioned her book club. How long have you two known each other then?
Balances sharing and asking, tactic C. Maybe about a year now. It's a fun group. How do you know Sarah?
Shares connection, then uses comment plus question on an object. Strategy B. We actually went to university together ages ago. Feels like yesterday sometimes. Hey, that cake over there looks amazing, doesn't it? Have you tried it yet?
Uses humor and asks, follow-up. Tactic AE. Haha, no, I'm scared to. It looks dangerously good. Yeah. Is it chocolate? I might need to investigate later. What have you been up to tonight? Mingling much?
Answers, then asks an open-ended interest question. A bit. Just chatted with Tom over there, mostly just catching up. So, besides book club, what else keeps you busy? Any fun hobbies?
Shares briefly, then uses a connector to link back. Tactic CF. Well, I try to get out hiking when I can. Nothing too serious, just local trails.
Speaking of outdoors, are you doing anything fun this summer?
responds, then signals ending politely.
Technique ABH. Oh, nice. I'm hoping to go camping, maybe? We'll see. Anyway, I think my friend is waving me over. I should probably go say hi. But it was really lovely chatting with you, Alex.
Provides warm closing with summary and open door. Technique CDE. Yeah, you too, Chloe. Have fun catching up with your friend. Enjoy the cake if you try it. Maybe see you around later.
Final friendly reply. Definitely. Take care.
Okay, completely different feel there. More personal questions about hobbies and history with the host. Use of humor, dangerously good cake. The comment plus question was about the shared food.
Exactly. And the ending again. Anyway, I think my friend is waving. Signal plus reason. Followed by the appreciative, really lovely chatting with you, Alex, using the name. And the host's reply summarized, enjoy the cake and kept the door open. Maybe see you around. Very warm social exit.
Perfect. One more. Scenario 3. Daily life small talk. Waiting in line at a coffee shop. Short, simple, confidence building.
Starts with simple observation shared situation. Strategy C. Wow, it's pretty busy this morning. The line's almost out the door.
Agrees. Adds a small comment. Asks for advice. Tactic CA. Yeah, tells you the coffee must be good. Right. I haven't actually been here before. Is there anything you'd recommend?
Offers specific advice. Building connection. Strategy E. Oh, first time. You gotta try their vanilla latte, hot or iced. It's kind of their signature thing. Really smooth.
Shows appreciation. Confirms intention. Tactic BC.
Oh, really? Okay, vanilla latte it is then. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Always good to get a recommendation.
Briefly sustains with simple context question. Tactic A. No problem. So, do you work nearby or just passing through?
Answers briefly, then initiates closing as context changes, line moving. Technique ABE. I just started a new job down the street, actually. Still exploring the area. Oh, looks like we're moving up. Anyway, thanks again for the recommendation. Nice talking to you. Simple, friendly closing. You too. Hope you like the coffee. Have a good one.
Final polite reply. Thanks, you too. That was probably less than a minute. But it flowed perfectly. Observation, asking for a tip, using the context, giving the tip, brief follow-up, polite ending triggered by the line moving.
Exactly. Low stakes, friendly, achieved its purpose of a pleasant shared moment. And for a learner, successfully navigating that simple exchange is a huge confidence boost. It proves you can do it.
It really demystifies it. So thinking about all these examples, let's boil it down again to those 3 golden rules for small talk success.
Rule 1, keep it simple, light, and positive. Avoid complexity, negativity, or controversial topics, especially when starting out.
Rule 2, ask small open questions. Show genuine interest by inviting the other person to share a little bit. Listen more than you talk initially.
And rule 3, always end politely and on a friendly note. Use signal phrases, maybe give a reason, offer a final kind word. Leave them feeling good.
And maybe a bonus rule, the big confidence booster we keep mentioning.
Yes. Don't obsess over small grammar mistakes. Seriously. Your positive attitude, your smile, your willingness to connect, that's what people notice and respond to far more than whether you use the past perfect correctly.
People remember the effort and the feeling, not the errors.
Absolutely. Focus on connection, not perfection. Hashtag tag outro.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, it's really clear that small talk isn't just small. It's actually a fundamental skill. It's that practical bridge we talked about, leading to real human connection when you're using English.
It's where the rubber meets the road, isn't it? Where your knowledge of grammar and vocabulary actually gets put into practice in dynamic, real-time interactions. It blends language skill with social skill.
And the amazing thing is, it's totally learnable. You don't need to be naturally extroverted or have a massive vocabulary to get started.
Not at all. You just need a few reliable phrases, like the ones we've discussed, and maybe more importantly, the willingness to just try. To put yourself out there, even just a little bit, with a friendly attitude.
And Every single time you do try, every short conversation you have, even just saying, hello, nice weather,
Hmm.
to the person next to you, is a step forward. It's practice for your fluency.
It really is, because you're not just practicing words, you're internalizing the rhythm, the intonation, the back and forth flow of natural spoken English.
You start to feel how conversations work, rather than just analyzing them like in a textbook.
And the more you have these little interactions, the more automatic those responses become. You gradually stop translating everything in your head first.
You start actually thinking in English, responding more spontaneously.
That's the magic point. That's when fluency really starts to take off, when the conversation feels less like a test you have to pass and more like just talking.
So the call to action for everyone listening is pretty clear, I
Yep.
think.
Start small. Don't wait for some big important event to practice. Use those daily life opportunities.
Say hi to the cashier. Make a simple comment to someone waiting in line with you. Ask the barista how their day is going.
Even if it's just 10 seconds, it counts. Every single interaction builds that muscle, builds that confidence. Each small talk moment is a stepping stone.
Exactly. And before you know it, English stops feeling like this foreign thing you're studying and starts feeling like a tool you can actually use to connect with people.
People from all different backgrounds all over the world, it opens up so
Uh,
much.
It really does. It becomes more than just a skill. It becomes a way to share a bit of who you are and understand others better.
And it all starts with that first simple hello, that first attempt at small talk. Your fluency journey, your confidence journey, it grows with every single smile, every friendly word you exchange.
You absolutely can do this.
Mm.
Keep practicing, stay positive, and embrace those small talk moments. We hope this deep dive gave you some concrete tools to get started. Thanks for tuning in to the Motivated Mind Zone.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Go out there and start chatting.